On to race number 2 then. Race number 2 at Happy Valley Wednesday night is a Class 4 contest. 1,200 metres the trip here for the second, with a couple of horses making their debut. Confucius Day should roll forward from barrier number 3. Harmony and Home, Danny Shum, Zach Purton makes his debut, as does Nunchucks for Casper Fownes and Berta Ripley from barrier 2. Mischief Sunday takes the drop-in trip from the 1650 back to the 1200. Casemiro, still a maiden after 15 starts in Hong Kong, gets close to a class drop as well. As far as the pace is concerned, good to slow sort of side.
Yeah, I think Confucius Day and Lorries are probably the two primary horses to sort of fight out and dispute the lead. Methane's a very interesting runner. We need him to jump well, I think from 10 to put himself in a forward position, maybe midfield. We know Cool Celeb on the dirt can roll forward too, but overall there doesn't look to be a great deal of pace.
Star of the Harbour, he's had 5 starts in Hong Kong and has beaten 3 horses home, so he can only improve. But his track work suggests he is on that improve. I mean, he is down now here into Class 4, so it'll be interesting to see how he does go. He did come in on quite a high rating when he arrived. Methane here, he was late scratch last start, wasn't he? When he didn't get a fair start. So prior to that, his debut run was enormous, and that non-run was pretty big as well, so he looks pretty well primed for this. And Nunchucks, for having his first start as Nunchucks. He's 1,058 pounds. He's had 2 trials. It hasn't been a Happy Valley yet, but his work hasn't been too bad.
Looks fighting fit though, Paul.
Yes, he does.
There you go. All right, more on Nunchucks in a minute. We just saw Methane there as well. Let's get more on that story with jockey Lyle Hewitson.
Lyle, Methane, I know what happened at the start last time out obviously wasn't ideal, but did he feel like he'd come on from that first run?
Yes, look, he was a bit outpaced, but I think not being in the pack, he sort of was a bit green behind them, so he was out of his ground and still made it up nicely in the straight under not too much pressure. So I think with that obviously being a non-run, he would have taken that well under his belt, and he's come on well at work as well. Once again, in a sticky predicament with the draw, but if it maps out well for him, he definitely has the ability to win this sort of race.
Where can you see him in the run from gate 10?
Look, ideally, I mean, if I could put myself in, I'd be one off halfway, but might just end up a little bit further back than that. And yeah, like I said, if things map up well enough, he can make it up. He's done it before. So yeah, I just hope things go really well for him, because he deserves to win, and he's got the ability to do it.
Obviously, it's the early days of his racing career. The way that he finishes off his races over 1,200 metres, in time will he be a horse that gets over a bit more ground? Yes,
for sure. I think we could have gone straight to the 14 now. I don't think that would have been an issue, but the race came up at the right time, and we've gone for it. I think that we'll see in a few months' time he might even get up over the mile 18. So yeah, he's definitely a late maturing horse, but once he puts his mind on the job and he gets up over the ground, I think we'll see the best of him.
He looks a winner in waiting, Methane, but the maturity, as Lyle was saying there, is something they're working on. Mischievous Sunday. Now, we're going back to his run 2 starts back, where he's run third, because it was a little bit disappointing when stepped up into it, when I thought it would actually suit him.
Yeah. Yes, but he over-raced in the early stages, and that went the opposite direction for him in the end. He tired, whereas here he was fine in the line. So I can see why John's gone back to the 1,200. The gate looks a bit awkward, but I'm going to take a chance with him. I just think John, coming back to the 1,200 is a bit of a sign, extra fitness. There wasn't that many other horses in the race I had a great deal of confidence about, so I'm going to put him in.
I put him in. I made him the best that day. I was very disappointed with his run. He's by Sebring. The step up looked ideal for him.
Not that day, it was the day when he disappointed 1650.
Yeah, the 1650, sorry. Yeah, not that
yeah, it was a good
one,
run.
but I've got him in for third, but I was disappointed last time.
I thought he had excuses last start.
All right, OK, that's Mischievous Sunday. Nunchucks at the trials with him. On debut. Now, I made him a long shot last week, and he was due to be over the 1,000 from a wide gate, so I thought it was a bit speculative. This time, he's up to the 1,200 and gets barrier 2. I think he gets a nice run.
Yes, he's had some bone problems with his left front. He was advised to have a fairly decent time resting, which he's had, and here he is, a 5-year-old on debut. So he's a nice enough mover. I'm not sure what to make of him, to be honest. I'm happy to sit on the fence.
Yeah, he's had the 2 trials. The only query is, for me, he hadn't been Happy Valley before, but he might love it. We'll find out. He is trained by Casper Founds.
It's one of these races that's fairly open, I think.
Yeah, at least a 30-1 shot at this stage. Favourite, though, Paul, Confucius Day?
Yeah, I've got him in there, Confucius Day, but I do like Methane. I made him the horse to follow on the debut. It was a huge run, and you just forget the last start. But if you look at it, the way he made that ground after missing the start, he looks, as you said, a winner waiting to happen. So he's on top. Good for you. He's a really good, well-rated horse now. He's won off a lot higher rating of 58. He's down to 53 and has won fresh up before. His track work has been pretty good leading into it. Mischievous Sunday and Confucius Day, 7, 5, 10, 1.
3 of those numbers in my tips as well. I ended up siding with Mischievous Sunday. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt for that run over the longer trip where he pulled, never really settled. Methane, Confucius Day, Lorries, they're the 2 on the speed. So 10, 7, 1 and 6 and Nunchucks is the unknown. We'll have to see what he delivers
Very well.
throughout the race.
I think Methane's the one to beat, but I'll take a chance with Nunchucks at odds first up. All right, there you go. That's race number 2. Feature race comes up as race number 6 on the programme. That's the Australian Turf Club Trophy. Third, though, is next for us.